Hey y'all, it's me, Cody. Welcome to the CodiKnits podcast. I can't remember what episode this is. I'm a terrible podcaster and always forget to check. Boy. Oh, and Diamond is here. Sorry, she's always just stretching. Yeah. She always comes running. She knows when the camera's on. She knows when her fans are ready to see her. Yeah. So, I hope you're all doing well. I've been doing pretty good. Better. I'm Cody. I should give like an introduction of myself again, I think. So I'm Cody. I am a nurse practitioner. I work in oncology, work with cancer patients. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm addicted to knitting. Anyway, that's a little bit about me. If you want to know more, feel free to ask me. If you want to know other things about me, I'm happy to share most things about my life. But yeah, I have been doing pretty good. Last time I talked to you, I mentioned that I had been pretty down and sad, but I'm getting better. I wrote a letter to the person who made me feel the way they did, and it was 5 pages. I hand wrote it, and that made me feel a lot better to get that off my chest, I guess you could say. And I was able to get that sent off to them. So that helped a lot. I feel a lot better. Today is Sunday. It is March the 8th, I think. And I have been working on a presentation. I'm doing a presentation on the coronavirus, the COVID-19 specifically. And I'm doing that tomorrow for a family company and talking to them. And then we're talking about some, like attendance policies and things like that. So basically what I want people to understand is that this is not Ebola. This is a virus that attacks your respiratory system, very, very similar to the flu. While most people recover from it fine, it's only supportive care. Most people who get this, you don't require hospitalization, things like that. It's dangerous for the people who are older, for people who have already compromised immune systems or weakened immune systems, and for people who have a lot of comorbidities or other health issues, especially if they're already like lung related, so asthma, COPD, emphysema. You can be a little bit more affected by it. But it's something to keep our eye out. But I think there's a lot more. I think it's being very politicized right now, and causing a little bit more chaos, I guess, or panic than really necessary. But anyway, it's not, when Ebola came around and that people bleed to death from inside out. Like, that's really a lot more dangerous than this is. We have people die every day of the flu, and the symptoms of the coronavirus, the COVID-19, is basically flu-like symptoms. Your cough, your fevers, chills, muscle aches. So most likely, unless you've been to a country or traveled to a country that's affected by it, or you've been in close contact with someone who has the virus, you are probably not going to have coronavirus. You probably have a cold or another, like the flu or whatnot. Anyway, I'm not an infectious disease doctor, but the biggest thing you can do is don't travel to places with who have a big outbreak. Washing your hands is really, really important. Don't touch your face. And the reason people say about not touching your face and washing your hands is because you can have coronavirus on you and it not make you sick. It's when you get that from either someone that has the virus sneezes or coughs and you inhale those droplets because you're nearby. It can be about 3 feet or more. You inhale that, it gets into your respiratory system, and that's when that's where it can grow and wreak havoc, right? Same, just like the flu. Washing your hands, obviously, and not touching your face, because if you touch something that's contaminated or whatever, you sneeze or someone sneeze and they, shake your hand, you're exposed, and then you touch your face, then it gives direct access into your respiratory system. Anyway, you should be washing your hands anyway, especially before you eat, things like that. I don't know if people weren't washing their hands prior to, but buying all the soap and whatever. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not trying to downplay it because it can be very serious for certain people, but at the same time, I think it's very, it's a little bit blown out of proportion a little bit here in the U.S. But anyway, I'm doing a presentation on that tomorrow, so I have been working on that and that kind of thing, helping a company develop some attendance policies for this. They do have people who travel frequently for their sales and things like that, so just giving them some basic information about it and some attendance policy things. So I've been working on that, and I've been watching a new podcast, and it's really great. It's some dudes, it's some boy knitters, men knitters, and it's really great to see that. It's called Needles at the Ready, and they're a couple, and one of them is a nurse, so that's really awesome. Yay, nurses. And I fell in love with their logo because just go see it, and you look at the logo, and if you know how much I love Harry Potter, you will understand why I love their logo. They're Harry Potter fans too, so yeah, they're really great. It's been really fun watching their podcast, so please go check them out. They really seem to be like really cool people, and they're having a great time doing the podcast and knitting and all that kind of stuff, and they just wanted to be part of the community, so go check them out and welcome them. Let me think, is there anything else? Diamond, come. She wants to go outside and it's cold, but we will go on a walk. She wants to go on a walk, but we're not going to do that right now. It's cold outside, so every time we go or I let her out on the thing, she doesn't stay out there on the little balcony. So anyway, I have some knitting to share with you and some crochet a little bit, and yeah, that's it. I haven't done any spinning or sewing, so yeah, let's jump right in. I do have a basically finished object, and this is it. These are the Sports by Stephen West. These are really fun to, these were fun knit. They do, you start up here. They're too big, even though I knit a little bit smaller size. They're still too big, and I went down a needle size. It's still too big. But it's okay. It's missing a drawstring because the pattern is wants you to do an I-cord, and I refuse to knit an I-cord that long. I don't have an I-cord maker, so I'm just going to put a ribbon in there, and then once I have a ribbon in and I can make sure they don't fall off, I will do a little bit of modeling. But you can see there is some shaping to them. There's some butt shaping, which is, it was really easy, I think. Oh, and the other thing I need to do is, I forgot to, you're supposed to tack. It's kind of got this little split. I need to like tack that back so this doesn't show. But yeah, they're cute. And then it's got a little, this is the crotch. And you end up seaming that, so that wasn't, I had to kind of figure that out, but I don't think that's too bad. But yeah, it was fun. So I had to buy an extra skein of yarn for this, of the blue, the Malabrigo Rios in the cyan colorway. I was trying to use scraps. Well, I had this is Sweet Georgia in the charcoal colorway. I had a skein of that. And then, so I wanted to use that, and I was wanting to use the rest of this for my sweater, but I ran out, so I had to buy another skein. And I didn't have enough of this to make, so anyway, I had to buy it, and thankfully I just went to eatsleepknit.com and typed it in. They had it in stock, so they had it shipped. And yeah, so this was really fun to knit. It's basically finished, but stay tuned to my Instagram. I used to be Nurse Cody on Instagram. I'm Cody_knits, and Cody is spelled with an I. So I will model these at some point in the near future. But yeah, I really like that. Oh, I forgot. I don't remember if I showed this last time. I crocheted this little baby hat to go with the little sweater. Just a little double crochet and a front post, back post, double crochet here. But because I still had, I had extra, because I had to buy a whole nother skein of the Malabrigo, and I had extra of the Sweet Georgia, I decided to knit a hat. So I cast this on. And I have this much left of the Sweet Georgia. But, so I knit, this is basically a Bankhead hat, but I just did a regular ribbing 2x2 instead of a 1x1 twisted, and I did 15 rows just because I wanted to use up as a pretty good chunk of that. And then I just been doing the normal Bankhead pattern, and I cast on using that as a guide for the number of stitches. And I have this much left. Sorry I'm coughing, but I'm having allergies. I have this much left. So I'm just gonna keep working on that as I go. I really needed this. For some reason, I just wanted something kind of a quicker project. But I also, like I said, I'm trying to use up all the yarn. So whenever I have yarn left over, I'm trying to just figure out something to knit with it so that it's used up and it doesn't go into my little basket of scrap balls. So yeah, I think that's really cute. So I have a little hat. I'm knitting it on Chow Goose. These are a fixed set. And I have it here in my Harry Potter bag. It's got a couple of fun little pins on it that I've received in subscription boxes. Loot Crate boxes, I believe. But this is a drawstring bag from Joanna over at the Stitching the High Notes podcast, and stitchinghighnotes.com, I believe, is where her shop is. She has project bags. So yeah, I've been knitting that. I did knit a little bit on my northeasterly blanket, but it's one of those I I haven't really knit a whole lot on, so it's not really anything to show you really exciting. So I'm not going to show you that in whatever I'm trying to say to save time. And I'm having this is it's from Starbucks. It's a refresher, the strawberry, I think it's strawberry acai refresher with lemonade. It's very good. I had to go out and buy a thumb drive to save the PowerPoint presentation that I have to do on. And I was going to sit there and work, but the laptop I have requires that you are continuously connected to power. There's no battery life on it anymore. It's so old. And there was nowhere to sit that had plug-ins, so I just came back home. Thyron was glad that I did. But anyway, I did stop and get one of those, and it's they're delicious. They're quite refreshing. Let's see. This project I have been excited to talk to you about. This is in my Fat Squirrel Project bag. It's like a wedge, but this is perfect for this project. And because I'm using 2 balls of yarn at the same time, it's just kind of perfect for them to sit on each side. So this is the Boxy by Joji Locatelli. I'm sure you're all familiar with it. Isn't she beautiful? That's Joji. But yeah, I'm knitting this for my godmother. Maybe she'll get it by Christmas. If she likes it, I'll give her a little peek and see if she likes the color and the fit and everything. If not, I'm going to give it to the yarn dyer, actually, and probably so she can have it maybe for a sample or whatever if she wants it. Otherwise, I will find somebody to sell it to. Because it's not anything that I would personally wear. The yarn is from Trilogy Yarn. And this is in her MCN base, merino cashmere nylon 80-10-10. I love the colors. So she sent me the sweetest little package, and it had some yarn in it. It had 2 in this color and 2 in another colorway. And I was like, ooh, I really want to do this Boxy. It's fingering weight, but it takes 4. So I reached out and asked her if I could buy 2 more, if she had any. And she had some. I couldn't find any in her shop, but she did have some set aside, I think, for like a trunk show. And so I said, can I steal that from your trunk show? And she was super sweet and sent me this. And she's always sweet, and she sent some minis as well. So thank you so much for the extra little minis, and she sent it super fast too. And this is what it looks like, all caked up. Yeah, it's like, I love knitting with it. It just slides through your fingers. It's so nice. This is what I got so far. It's a big mess. It's not really a mess. You work it from the bottom up, so there's a lot of stitches. But yeah, it's knitting up beautifully. So what's been fun about this, and the reason I'm using 2 balls at the same time, is because I'm doing helical knitting with this. And because this is a hand-dyed yarn, people frequently recommend that you alternate skeins every row to prevent any kind of pooling, or so you don't have like one section that looks darker or lighter than the other. So it looks more like it's one cohesive fabric. And some people will change every row and just carry it up. But you kind of get some, you can kind of, you can kind of tell when people do that. So I've been doing helical knitting, and I kind of wanted to tell you what my thoughts on that is. And I really love it. It's super easy. There are video tutorials out there. I think Babbles from Traveling Yarn has one. But if you just type in helical knitting in YouTube search, it'll come up. But basically what I did is I knit, there's like a little bit of ribbing at the bottom, so I did that, and then I knit one round. And when I got back to the beginning of the round, I stopped 3 stitches short of the beginning of the round, and I slipped those stitches. And when you slip 3 stitches, and when you slip the stitches, you want to insert your needle purlwise to maintain the orientation of the stitch. You don't want to do knitwise, like when you do a slip knit. You don't want to do that. You just want to move them over. So if you insert the needle like this and pick it up, so insert purlwise and move it over, you want to do that for 3 stitches. And then just pick up your new strand of yarn from your new ball or cake and knit around, just like you normally would, just like joining a new color or whatever. You just pick it up and knit, and then you knit all the way until you get to those 3 slip stitches. And once you get to those 3 slip stitches, I'm gonna try to show you. Oi. So once you get back around, I'm trying to show you from this side, but you can see there's like, when you're looking at your stitches, you can see there's like a little gap right there. Well, this stitch here has my old yarn from the first ball attached. So these 3 stitches were the ones that were slipped, right? So what you want to do is you knit all the way till you get to this stitch right here. You knit this stitch, then you slipped the next 3 stitches, right? So you slip them with the, and that's the other thing, keep your yarn in the back and slip as if to purl. You don't want to pull your yarn to the front. So if you want that pretty little easy to pick up edge on the side of your projects or whatever, you want to slip with your yarn in the front, but not with this. You just want to slip the stitches with the yarn in the back, purlwise. Slip 3 stitches. Then it's magic, because once you slip those stitches, you can drop your previously working yarn and you pick up this, and that, when you pick this yarn up, you're going to continue knitting all the way around from there. So I hope I'm explaining that so that it makes sense, but you're never going to have a gap or anything. There's nothing you need to do, but you're just continuing picking up, knitting around until you get to 3 stitches before those 3 slip stitches. You slip those 3 stitches, and then when you do that, you're ready. It puts you in the perfect position to pick up the next, yarn to switch over to and start knitting. Now, keep in mind too, the beginning of your round does not change just because it doesn't change. You see, right here is the beginning of my round. These are just some, I just knitted a little bit past, so my stitch marker would stay on. But so originally, it'll eventually, every time you come around, you're gonna go 3 stitches back. And so the place where you swap over the yarn is gonna gradually move back and back, but that doesn't mean the beginning of your round does, okay? So that's something that took me a minute to realize whenever I was doing it. So all you do is knit around, knit around, knit around, knit around. And you're switching the yarn that way, and it doesn't put any kind of like a jog. You don't see any kind of, you can't tell anywhere that you've switched the yarn. Those 3 slip stitches, you don't make any lines like slip stitches because you're knitting them the next time. They get knitted. They just get knitted whenever you come back around. So I hope that makes sense. But helical knitting, if you're knitting with yarn that is hand dyed and may not be consistent, or you want to, to prevent that pooling, and you, like when you switch yarns up in the side, you do get a little seam kind of thing. So if you want to avoid that, then this is the perfect method. And I hope I explained that well. I'm knitting this on my interchangeable Chow Goose, size 4. And I'm really glad I'm using Chow Goose because there's so many stitches here on the needles that if I was using one of them cords that like to do like all this, I would be so annoyed and frustrated. But this cable is nice and slick as far as the yarn slides on it, and it doesn't get all twisted up. So it's not bothering me. If it was all tangled and twisted, I have to work a lot harder to keep the stitches moving around the cable. So anyway, I think I blabbered on about that enough, but I hope what I said makes sense. You should totally try it out. It's super easy. I don't know how to explain how easy it is, but it's super easy. You should check out Trilogy Yarns because she has some beautiful colors, and this is a beautiful base, and yeah. And obviously, if you don't have that Squirrel Speaks project bag, you should go get one. Last thing I really knit on was this blanket. I was down here last time, and I've knitted up to here. This is my second time recording this podcast, so I've already moved it, but it was right here. So I've knit this much. I have this much left of this cake. This is how big they are originally. So I'm almost done with this cake, and like, this is the thing I don't like about this is having to purl. Purling on the back row makes it take a long time, I guess is what I'm saying. But I think it's a pretty decent size. So I think what I'm going to do is finish that cake and see how big it is, and if it makes sense to leave it that length and have it as baby blanket and have it that way, then I will. I mean, really, it's already baby blanket size. So, I mean, from here to here is how long it is. So, I'll finish that and see what I think, because I just don't know if I can keep on. The pattern that that I bought that yarn for. It was on the ball band. It asked for three of those cakes, so we'll see. But I did do a little bit of crochet. It's my last work in progress, and it's just the Elvira shawl. So it's getting pretty good size. It's basically my wingspan, which is about 5'8" when it's kind of blocked out, and pretty decent depth there. I think this does have a little bit of oh wait, maybe it don't. Nope, it's 100% acrylic. So acrylic doesn't block super well as far as like wool does, so I have to see. But anyway, I'll stop this for a little bit because the ball was all tangled up, and I had to cut the yarn and rewind the ball. I don't know how it happened, what happened, but I had to redo it. So I kind of stopped, but I finally just did it, and it's been fine. But I have this much left of this cake, and I have one more cake of it. But I kind of don't want to do the next cake because I don't want it to. I really like how it's kind of gradiated into that pink, and I don't want to start all over. And if I just go from the pink, then you're just gonna have this big chunk of pink in the middle, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna like that. But anyway, I'll see how I feel when I finish that little ball. And we'll go from there. This bag, I really love this little bag. It's from Birdie and Poppet. Very sweet lady as well. She's in the UK. Go check out her bag. I love these little sheep. Some of the sheep have little red hats on them, so very cute. Yeah, that's all I've been working on. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having lots of fun knitting time. It's been raining so much here in Georgia. Rain, rain, rain. It's kind of weird. When it was raining, it was kind of muggy and, well, not muggy. It was just kind of hot. It was warmer. And the sun's been out this weekend, but it's been cold. Which is fine with me, but I'm just glad the sun came out because everybody was, I don't know, I need sunshine in my life. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're getting a little bit of sunshine in your life, some happiness, and yeah, stay healthy. Remember, wash your hands, try not to touch your face, wash your hands before you eat, after you use the bathroom, before you use the bathroom, just wash your hands a lot, and happy knitting. We'll see you later, guys.